Give me your money! Is that the come back and kick me whistle? We're safer in pairs. I don't have time for this.
Help! Carjacking!
Shredded it.
This is an amazing show, made for anyone who can afford Amazon Prime. For my real thoughts, watch my review, because a review, this video is not. This video is about me making this show sound as weird as possible while still being technically correct, and staying monetized. So let's kick this off with episode 1. I can't believe it's not Scott. Never mind. The greatest comic book in the universe, their words, not mine, opens with glorified mall cops making small talk before one of them devolves into a personal story no one asked for, about how his stepson has stopped doing drugs long enough to become a weeb, only for the sob story to get interrupted by the clap of dummy thick cheeks. Who are coming to kill the president. These are the Mahler twins, genius idiots who constantly argue who's the clone and who's the team bitch. Invading the White House for non-stupid reasons, their spa day gets interrupted by some Justice League knockoffs. Meet the Guardians of the Globe, Earth's mightiest ripoffs, featuring the Russian Flash, Black Batman, Fishman, the Martian Man, Green Danny Phantom, Wonder Woman with a club, and Vandal Savage in spandex. Working together, this band of pending lawsuits rescue dumbass civilians sticking around for the vine, with the power of money finally failing Batman, leading to the show's real hero to appear. This is JK Omni-Man, the planet's Superman, but with the attitude of a guy who works retail. The Blue Man duo lose at a game of punchies, so we can finally cut to Omni-Man's son, Mark, not jacking it in the bathroom while his mom watches. See, Mark, Ron Grayson, is half human, half alien, and is worried he won't develop superpowers that aren't his permanently gelled hair. Walking to school to avoid hearing his dad's victory sex, where he hangs out with his 2007 gay friend, while failing to reenact Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. He's not good at this yet, and if being a hot nerd wasn't embarrassing enough, Mark also works at a fast food joint, where low-grade spite finally triggers his powers. Rushing home to tell his parents he's not a disappointment now, his mom is excited and his dad ponders buying another facial expression. See, White Man's Burden Omni-Man is from Viltrum, a planet of supermen who send their young to smaller, weaker planets to help out and to remind them how good things are at home. Don't pull a syndrome. Mark goes off for a joyride later that night, fulfilling his childhood fantasy of not being like all the other kids. Yeah, he's still not good at this yet. He gets better, I swear. Next time, Omni-Man is ecstatic that Mark is finally super strong, so now that he can finally catch him up with all the child abuse he's been missing out on. That'll never happen again. Mark isn't used to his dad beating him. Frustrated, he goes back to school where the bully thing happens again, and he's now feeling pretty good about himself, so he throws a costume together and launches an attack on Titan, and leaves afterwards so that he can listen to his dad yell at him about doing violence without him. But after Mark begs his dad to beat him, Omni finally accepts him as his son, bringing Mark to his tailor, Mark Hamill.
I'm Art Rosenbaum, kid. Pleasure to finally meet you.
Star Wars money has finally ran out. Thrift shopping outfits, tempting fate, Mark decides what could possibly go wrong is too long of a hero name, and tries to come up with something better. After getting a pep talk from his mom where she tells him that having great power doesn't mean that he still ain't shit, retreating to his dad who's excited to finally play games with his son without looking at him, and proceeds to give his pep talk but with sinister overtones, inspiring his dumbass son to take the name Invincible. To celebrate, Invincible flies around his CGI city, which yes, does get worse the more you look at it. But that shit is expensive, just like the property damage.
You might as well give up.
Credits roll, and some idiot leaves and misses the rest of the episode. Where the Red Boar dabbles in not getting divorced, the Immortal kills a suicide bomber, the Martian plays with a homeless girl, while War Woman fights with her girlfriend, and everyone else does things of no comedic importance. Rushing to their secret base, Omni-Man appears to bust some heads, pop some pimples, and play ragdoll with his friends, doing in 4 minutes what Warner Brothers did in 4 years. And if you think he's immediately gonna get caught for this, you would think that, but no. Worst invasion ever. So yeah, over in England, the family vacation of Ishigami, a White House guard who sucks at his job, nearly get killed by the bag Mark threw earlier. Don't bother trying to figure this out. I guarantee it doesn't make sense. All this is for a match cut back to the soon-to-be haunted Guardian headquarters, where the feds are doing their best to give the heroes a chance at an open casket. Picking up Omni-Man, they alert his family that he's in a coma after hosing away the evidence, I assume. Being rushed to the hospital where Bobby Hill decides to title drop the series.
Who knows, maybe someday we'll even work with you.
Yes, they do this in every episode. Yes, you get used to it. Yes, I still think it's a meh gimmick. Over the big mustache, not Nick Fury explains how they have no idea who did this. Also, there's CGI invasion, so Invincible should go take care of that. With his whopping 1 week of training, and it's here we see what being a hero is really about. Shitting the bed and mass casualties. Where all missing the mark can do is scar the alien leader and hugging an old lady to death. Thankfully, the teen team shows up, and yes, they are Teen Titans Go references. This collection of child soldiers includes Cyber Stalker Robot, Buy One Get the Others Free Duplicate, Frat Guy Gambit, Explode, and the worst costume, Adam Eve. This band of adults pretending to be 18 are all cool, except Rex. Fuck Rex. Ashamed of himself, Mark bailing with just the remains, while the real heroes get to nearly die fighting the non-Martians, who start dying en masse because dimensional time BS. So they all run back through their Looney Tunes portal. Shoulda Quit Mark runs into Not Jean Grey, because coincidence. They hang out, and we hold on the third member of the mandatory love triangle people are not going to fight over, dragging the yellow target to meet her friends and boyfriend because yeah, this dude somehow gets laid. Oh, that's why. Meanwhile, away from the about-to-be open relationship, Scarface is talking with Clancy Brown in a hat. Damien Darkblood, for anyone who cares. He's a demon detective who escaped hell so that he could wear jumpsuits. But even demon magic can't see the giant red-handed villain behind all of this. Mostly because they're paying this guy by the growl, so the scene has to end. Alien decides this one block is really worth dying for, and invade again, cutting short Mark's talk about how he suddenly has 2 potential dates that aren't plastic for a change. Rushing to fight the invaders, it goes about as well as last time. Luckily, Mark taps into the power of Horny to fight back, while Robot figures out that the jewelry isn't just an accessory. Saving the day, and Omni-Man's awake, and done pretending that he isn't a dick. Bringing the violence back home, Omni-Dad wants his son to hit him for a change, except an alien in cosplay is flying towards Earth, making Mark volunteer to deal with it. Except this isn't an invasion, it's just an example of why you shouldn't let stoners use Google Maps. Alan the alien is supposed to go planet to planet to see how tough the planet is. Wrong planet though, so he leaves to go get fired. Back to our regularly scheduled teen drama, where in this episode, Mark gets Amber's phone number from a bully she's bullying, because we need to establish how tough she is. Back at home, the worst investigation ever is still underway. Third time's the charm invaders really want this intersection, but when all hope seems lost, Mark's dad shows up to have a nice civil discussion about this.
Earth isn't yours to conquer.
And for shits and giggles, spends a few months ramming them back to the Stone Age, returning home just in time for dinner, while the odd couple screams at each other whether they should call it now or later. Oh, he is full of shit. A funeral for the Guardians is held, the loss of his friends is weighing heavily on Omni-Man.
I'm feeling pizza. I can be to Naples and back before the cheese stops bubbling.
He is really bad at pretending to care.
It came from your friend's funeral.
Co-workers.
This dude needs an I don't give a shit t-shirt.
He could run fast, okay? It's not exactly one of your premier superpowers.
The house is being watched by Bobby Spyman, which means he has a front row seat to watching Mark score a date with a girl out of his league. Now, all they have to do is resist screaming as they watch the rest of this relationship play out. In other drama, Eve heads back to the base for a quick shower and catches her best friend trying to hide the foursome she's having with Eve's boyfriend. And just when you thought No Sense Rex could get any better, he does this.
Hold on! This doesn't mean shit!
Yeah, this dude deserves to be single. Great abs though. Quinto Robo is hosting tryouts for the next Guardians of the Globe, but he forgot to send the real invites out, so only the joke applicants are here. So he says fuck it and repicks his old team, with some pity hires thrown in like Black Samson.
Black Vulcan was Aquaman's idea. And I said, well, maybe we should just call you Whitefish.
And 2 other girls for Azula to voice. Monster Girl is great though, giving Rex and the audience exactly what we need. Eve is all for it, but Mark steps in, being the only one who's willing to hit a child. Eve gets picked, but refuses to work with a slut or her ex-friend, leaving the Guardians to be dysfunctional on their own. Also, we found out Monster Girl becomes a week younger every time she uses her powers, meaning she has hacked immortality, but can't get laid without sending someone to jail. This turns on Robot, who will now spend the rest of the season doing illegal shit to get laid.
Pathetic.
In other dysfunctional news, Amber and Mark are having a study date that ends when abusive Uncle Vibe Cecil busts into his room, tells him to serve his country and to not get laid.
They were oppressors, racists, slave owners.
If you think this guy is cringe, that's the point, dumbass. Also, Mark just left his date alone in his room instead of rescheduling. Doc Animo is destroying an overhyped monument and ranting about Eve's less than stellar costume. Working together, they throw the old man into lava before calling it a day, and Mark gets to leave another woman hanging. Running home to his very pissed off crush, who luckily for him, still thinks he's hot, though the whole family walking around spandex is still kinda weird. Dad Man is home after beating a kaiju unconscious, leaving it for the feds to ruin. While at home, Hellboy Rorschach is cranking up the AC to make his surprise appearance to talk with one of the better characters, Debbie. And to finish siphoning off the show's budget, we go to Super Jail, where the Maulers shatter this guy's arm to break out and goof off, triggering the alarm and cueing the music. They kill a guy, and one Mauler kills the other because he is never going to be Team Bitch. And it turns out this is all Robot trying to get laid. Where the fuck did the budget go? Mark dicking around in space begins with him dicking around with his dad, flying over mummies and getting more ominous pep talks from his dad. Mark thinks this is about being a responsible superhero, but Dad is really saying other things. In other Russian news, the Red Stain's widow is an alcoholic and dumps selling her house on Debbie, which cuts into her time googling Darkblood to see how legit a demon in tights really is, killing Nolan to threaten the Hellspawn by nearly T-posing while borderline admitting he did it. But between a demon and a guy with a mustache, they both know who the public will believe. Mark is trying to screw up his high school romance, but between being a hero and being broke, he is still somehow pulling it off. Laying on the positives, Amber was in the Peace Corps, which gives Mark the perfect excuse for why he's going to be gone for the next couple weeks, and begs her not to leave him. Shadowing a mission to Mars, living on nothing but sandwiches, he doesn't want to be here, but he has to, or else he'll catch the Newgrounds disease. Which reminds me, more Run the Jewels. Between the music and the actors, I wonder, how much money did this show have left over for everything else? The Guardians, meanwhile, are getting a lecture in home decor, while Rex and MG bond by talking shit. A concerned robot begs him not to bang the 14-year-old.
Crazy man? She looks like she's 14. Besides, now that I'm a guardian, I can bang anyone I want. Good.
Thank God he's not a pedophile, is possibly the lowest praise I've ever given anyone. Needed Donor Robot has also stolen Rex's blood, as if he's gonna get a new body, he might as well pick a handsome one. With Mark in space, the parentals take a trip to Italy, where we find out Nolan loves his wife, but still gonna lie and manipulate her to trust him so that he can keep living rent-free for just a little bit longer. But hey, here's hoping she'll at least make it out of this story alive. Now back to space, where the astronauts have been kidnapped by Martians, who are terrified of those starfish from Superman, who if they gain a host, will finally be able to squat up and conquer the galaxy. Mark doesn't really take them seriously, so he grabs his fellow humans and leaves. Except he missed one, and this is going to get so many people killed. But he's back with Amber, who he gives a Mars rock even though he can fly anywhere in under a minute. Unfortunately though, for others, Hellboy gets sent back to hell for sharing. Everyone else moves on with their B-plot, Debbie sells a house, Robot's potato experiment is going great, and Darkblood left Debbie the Netflix password. Get wrecked! Next up on the list is Amazon cashing in on hiring Mahershala Goddamn Ali to play Titan. This guy is rock hard and stone cold.
Mr. Lou, next time I find him on our turf, I won't be so gentle. That message was for you.
Acting as an enforcer who shows people the town and makes them do what they don't want to do. But behind the rough exterior, he's a family man in a bad situation with a wife and probably cancer-ridden child to protect, and stuck doing jobs for a suit-wearing speak and spell, who's bringing back autotune.
I know where your family lives, and that means you work for me until I say you're fucking done.
Elsewhere, hero training has hit the Batman phase.
I'll show you. There, see? Now he'll tell me everything.
Okay, but you're gonna catch him, right?
Yeah, in a second.
See, there's something you need to understand about Omni-Man. He lives by a code of save the world, fuck the people living there, encouraging Mark to think he's above the small problems like inner city violence, with all this heroing having a knock-on effect of A, making Mark bold enough to quit his job, and B, being perpetually late and ruining his relationship. Because we're doing this trope, and it's deader than that guy, putting Invincible on thin ice with his dad telling him to do other things than date girls, like elephant punching. Over in the Family Matters plot, Debbie's found the demon sketchbook, giving her a reason to try and find the blood-soaked costume he was wearing, while Brita Filter Eve is getting yelled at by her parents for thinking she can do better than Rex. Yeah, they're just as stupid as he is.
Forgive him.
What?
All guys make mistakes.
Oh, he is definitely cheating on his wife. Now, back to the main plot. Gravelly voiced Titan asks Invincible for help to take down Machine Dick. I'm Invincible Mark says no, till he sees the cancer daughter and agrees, but his dad tries to convince him he shouldn't because he's better than helping poor people. What did I marry into? Debbie thinks Mark should do it because fuck Nolan. Elsewhere, the Guardians are celebrating saving the day till their grumpy team dad reminds them of all the people that died. Has a date Mark is trying to help Titan, but this fight is going to happen on the same day as his last chance to hang out with Amber at a soup kitchen. The plan to beat Machine Head doesn't work out because they forgot one important detail.
I've got money.
Summoning a pack of supervillains and one beast, this fight is an ass-kicking. One Omni-Man is watching with great vigor, with even Berserk Rage not being enough to stop Battle Kitty. The Guardians arrive, don't do shit, Hole-in-One Mark gets knocked out, while Samson needs a hand and Monster Girl loses face. But watching other people suffer horrible fates reminds everyone else the beauty of getting their shit together, fighting off the lesser villains while the Thundercat dips. Amber and Eve have a wonderful time helping others, only to get the call about Mark falling into a vat of whoop-ass, buying this relationship another episode, and costing Mark his father's respect. And then for a stinger, turns out the Teleporter and Titan were in cahoots to overthrow Machine Head. Good for them. The I'm past caring point. This Gemini episode starts with College Rick failing to get laid.
The fucking Doug Cheston.
And getting turned into a cyborg. Meanwhile, in the aftermath of the epic beatdown that was Battle Beast, 3 people are now in the hospital, with Black Samson somehow getting his powers back and getting sued by Black Lightning, while Monster Girl is now in the ice-cold care of a lusting robot.
Studied Monster Girl's physiology extensively.
Yeah, he has. Mark is also dying, but he's the main character, so he lives. Waking up from a 6-day coma to his loving family and backup wife. In the other room, Nolan and Cecil hurl veiled threats at each other. Mark is now on what I'm guessing is his 8th chance with Amber, and needs to make this work.
I want to come.
And like that, he's now third-wheeling his best friend by dragging his girlfriend with him to college. Before they head out though, Amber is in Mark's bedroom again and lets him know she's going freelance to help people with her reality manipulating powers. Which yeah, that would do more good than fighting geriatrics twice a week. So she leaves her negative family to go live in the woods. At college, Will's man crush is worth the hype. And the tranquil, vodka-soaked college life Mark is envisioning seems to be pretty close to reality. Then this idiot pops up to talk about turning people into robots, which sets off no warning bells. Then Robot Rick pops in. Mark ditches his friends to save his friends, but he can't beat the human tin can. Thankfully for him though, the robot would rather be dead than sober. This causes Amber to dump Mark for being a coward.
You're a superhero.
You know. You know? On their way.
Where the hell did you go?
Yeah, it's bad rotting, just move on. Willie realizes Mark's invincible, so he'll be abusing that later. But his man crush gets kidnapped and Mark has to choose between finding a person who won't call his friend back or rescuing his relationship. He of course chooses the latter, only to dip when he realizes that this is serious and not just foreplay. Being jumped again by cyborgs, they somehow are a match for a man who can throw asteroids, revealing,
Oh, William! A rematch. Excellent.
yeah, that guy's the villain, and Will's already fucked Rick. The Crush snaps out of it to give Mark enough time to ruin some more machines and break that asshole's jaw. But what is stopping evil if your relationship falls apart? In other news, Robot has hired the Maulers to be his surrogate cloners, who are now grave robbing themselves an insurance policy. While elsewhere, Debbie uses her idiot husband's bloody costume to prove that he not only killed the Guardians, but he started the fight. So hooray! Mark wasn't the only one who fucked up his life. At least he doesn't look ready to snap her neck though. Shit just got real. Where do I begin? For starters, the Grayson family marriage has fallen apart faster than Mark's attempt to get back together with Amber. So that's over with. Mark runs off to cry to their mutual, hoping she'll take his side. And the other story hasn't even asked her out yet. Robot has gone to the Maulers to see his complete child Rex clone, which he wants to upload his mind into because his current body is a potato. The Blues brothers are surprisingly sympathetic to the whole situation, but remind him he's not transferring his save file, he's copying over a new one. So he's still gonna be a potato, while the other guy free to go and be creepy, with his soon-to-be infant wife. After a horrific scene, Robo-Rex is a go, with no moral quandaries whatsoever. Do It for the Win robot offs the old robot, then has to fight the Maulers after he insists they should go back to jail. Fight ensues with the clones showing off why they're such a lovable a-holes, but Rudy Robot has to run off when he gets a call about the main story going to shit. Speaking of which, how's that going? Not great, apparently. Debbie is now in protective custody because she realized she's sleeping with a monster. So the other shoe finally drops, and Omni-Man deals with the breakup by killing the people in his house. Killing poor Bobby, threatening his son's only friend, then flies off to tell his son how this isn't what it looks like. But if it was, please take my side. On the way, he gets a nosebleed after a tactical space later nukes him. Cecil plays tag with him to stall for his plan C to show up. He fights off more of those Reanimen, courtesy of what war crimes asshat. Those die too, or in their case again. And with no other options, the government unleashes the kaiju from earlier, except this time they gave it a lot of cocaine. While Zero Man is fighting Calamari Dog, Mark is crying to Amber about how he fucked up his love life, which she gets, but she also thinks, yeah, you could have handled that better. With her quitting his pity party to go check on the giant laser, which leads to Invincible getting over himself to help. The Guardians meet the new robot.
What the fuck? Who the hell are you?
Yeah. They don't take it well. Rex doesn't know if this is supposed to be his son, brother, or twin, but he ain't having it either way, or the fact that Rudy only picked him because Monster Girl thinks he's hot. With the creep out factor being put on hold so that they can all realize that Omni-Man has gone rogue and responsible for their cave's old paint job. Mark starts fighting Benihana's revenge, Eve gets a phone call about what's really going on, and to make everything even more confusing, Abraham fucking Lincoln is here. Yes, this guy. See, the Maulers dug up the Immortal's body, reattached his head, then beat his meat until he came back to life, where we finally found out he's Vandal Savage, except good, and he was the actual Abraham Lincoln. And if you're thinking that makes no sense, look up what happened to Lincoln's body after he died, and you'll understand the bizarre BS that happened to this poor man's corpse. Anyway, Honest Rage remembers everything and runs off to kill Omni-Man, getting his ass beat, before getting turned into a donut and trying to gouge out his opponent's eyes with his last breath. Wow, that was horrifying. Perfect episode, though. Think, Mark, think! Is officially overplayed. Let's peel back the layers to this beatdown, shall we? So, the young American is not happy to see his presence blood on Omni-Man's hands, and the bloodshot eyes ain't helping. So here, in the middle of this open field, blood everywhere, slightly erect, Omni-Man decides to stop lying and reveal his backstory. Viltrum isn't a planet full of Supermen who bring peace and love. They're a planet of Saiyans who pitted their entire population against each other in a death match, and have been conquering planets ever since. With his dad being a centuries-old veteran who was sent to this planet by what I'm assuming is his dad to infiltrate Earth so that they'll have to say yes when the homeworld checks in to see if the planet's cool with the whole occupation thing. Omni-Man has been living a lie this entire time. He killed the Guardians, but even worse, he called his wife a bad word.
I do love your mother, but she's more like a pet to me.
Triggering Mark, kicking off a fight that will not go well. Because not only is this like all the other times his dad hit him, but this time he gets to watch his dad hit other people. Yeah, and that was just the warm-up. Using his son to clear out traffic, Mark is left dazed and confused. Building is falling, and mom and daughter are the only things Invincible can focus on right now.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
But he's not getting the picture yet, that humanity is terrible, that they're beneath him. So Omni Cleaner decides to show off how pointless they are by using Mark to plow through traffic. Have fun sleeping after that, kid. But Mark still isn't breaking. And after a boat and a mountain, a meme Omni-Man has run out of things to beat his son with. So he's devolved into insults.
Fine! What's 17 more years? I can always start again. Make another kid.
But after all that, the abuse, the murder, Mark still loves his dad. Also the coma setting in and he doesn't know what he's saying. But this, plus that one time Mark didn't suck at baseball, caused Omni-Man to cry and fly his way out of the galaxy. Several days later, Mark is awake with his mom, who's heard everything and already divorced. And now all she wants is the goddamn bottle to drink her sorrows away. Mark gets a sneak peek of the government doing shady shit, but at least they'll be giving his family lots of money. Guardians helped out on cleaning duty and decide to get rid of the bloodstains, which good for them, but everyone else is depressed as shit. Especially Mark, who is still in shock and getting PTSD flashbacks. Amber's here though, and they're back together. Because you don't know what you have till you watch him nearly die on TV. Also, the rest of his school pack is here, and rather than be home with his sobbing mother, he leaves to go die inside with his friends. He then ditches them because Alan is back with spoilers from 30 minutes ago. We get informed about Space Alliance fighting Viltrum, and a hint about all the different things we'll deal with next season. Like the evil starfish on Mars, that one guy the Maulers didn't kill, somehow, the dimensional aliens Nolan failed to genocide, Titan is fighting a dragon gang leader, fucking Battle Beast, Cecil's cyborg army. But all Mark wants to think about is high school, and how he's over all of this. Thank you for watching the video. Now please like, share, and subscribe, and apparently the bell means something, so do that.